Good morning. We had to lock up our free range egg layers the other day into the tractor. We were having some hawk issues. So let's go do some chicken chores. We're going to refill waters, give food, move the tractor, get everything done this morning. And I'm going to take you guys with me. Sylvie is an absolute queen this morning. Hi, I have the feed bucket. Is that what you want? Good morning. Now the feed issue is really no big deal because I always fed them on the ground anyway. But the water is a little more complicated because I couldn't find our big water to hang. So I've just been using a tub. We have a new one coming, so we'll fix that up. But it's not ideal. It's working and we're keeping them safe from the hawks, which is the biggest thing. But it's harder this way. I prefer to have them free range. It's easier to feed them kitchen scraps. It's just all around easier, and I don't know how long we're going to continue to do it this way, at least for a couple weeks till this hawk moves on, and we'll see what happens after that, honestly. But I'm at least glad that we have this option. I would feel really frustrated if my whole plan hinged on free ranging them and I didn't have a place where I could safely lock them up but still get that pastured benefit. So I'm at least happy for that, but it's a little bit of a bummer, and it's more work because I'm not just opening the door. As you'll see, it's a whole thing, and I got to try to keep them in there so they can stay safe. And see, I love that they're in here and that they're protected, but I so wish that I could just open the door again and let them out. And hopefully in a couple weeks we can. I'm glad we have this so we can just move it forward. They still can peck the grass, all of that stuff, but just not my favorite method. I know that that is literally the point of a chicken tractor, so I'm so glad we have the option, but I just love to see them running around, and they fight less when they have more space. But let's just get them set up for the morning. First thing that I want to do is move this water tub that's in the front, but they're very interested, of course, and the first thing they're going to want to do is jump out. So I kind of undo the latch and push it back, so it's going to be really easy for me to open. And I'm going to sneak some food back to them through the back, get them a little bit interested back here, and then move that water. That did not go according to plan. I did not mean to throw it at her face. And then I can usually come forward and pull the water out without too many of them bothering me. And we're going to move this tractor before we give them feed on the ground, because I want to make sure I'm putting the feed on fresh ground so that they're not just eating off of their poop from the day before. All right, once I get to moving it, I don't need to move fast, but I don't necessarily want to lollygag, since the back of it will be raised up, and they know that their food is back here and all of that. So I'm going to raise this side first. They're pretty big. I mean, these are full-grown chickens, so it's not... We do have one chicken here, but it's not like these guys are tiny and they're just going to sneak under, but they are food motivated. All right, so I already did the other side. They are so ready to eat. So this one's really easy to raise as well. I'll try to latch it unless they start getting finicky, and then I'll just roll. Yeah, I see them sticking their heads out the back. So I want to start getting it moved quickly. Usually when they see me up here, they come up because they know that I am the girl with the food. We just want to start moving it kind of fast so that they don't get stuck on the idea of leaving. And we're just getting it to fresh ground. Through some tall grass over here. And then we're going to lower this side kind of quickly so they don't get any ideas. We'll do the other side. And now I can put these pins in. With them being bigger and so routine driven and food driven, it's not as big of a concern that they're going to come out. Meat birds love to just scoot themselves out, but meat birds are also easier to catch because they're slow. These egg layers are used to free ranging, so they definitely, when they get out there, are not going to want to be caught, and it's fine if they free range, but I'm trying to keep them safe from the hawks, so that would kind of defeat the purpose if they scooted on out the bottom. So I have my tub of water filled, and like I said, this is totally not ideal. I would have a hanging water ideally. I have one coming, but this is what we're working with for now. We really needed to get them safe and secure like immediately. And so I just grabbed something that was fairly easy to carry, and I'm just grabbing water, filling it up kind of halfway to where I can carry it. Let me get these guys some food, and then I can stick the water in. So like I said, I like to kind of push it back. It makes it easier for me when I go to open it. So I'm gonna do the same trick in the back that I did before, and they are absolutely waiting. Ladies. No, I'm not going to let you out. The golden comets love to try to squeeze out. So let me try to coax them back to the front. Come on. And then run for it. And I just throw like one scoop just to get them away from the door, just because they like, there's a lot of them. And they just kind of flock. And then now that we have fresh grass, there's no problem with them eating off the ground. Look at how nice this grass is. These cows need to come in here and eat. There's no real problem with them eating off the ground. I put this in right in the door, so it's really easy for me to grab. I like everything to be as close as possible. Again, ideally, I would have things that are hanging in here or like sitting up off the ground a little bit, but this is totally fine. And sometimes this one doesn't latch. There we go. If it's on like uneven ground, but we look good here. So I was just counting, and I think we have anywhere from like 20 to 24 hens in here, and I see 3 roosters in here. So that number is not really ideal for that many hens. I think ideally I would like 2, but again, we're just trying to keep them safe in here. I think I've got 2 roosters running around. I actually switched some out yesterday because there was one in here that was kind of cranky, and I was like, no. If anybody's gonna get eaten by a hawk, let it be the cranky one, which obviously I do not want him to get eaten by a hawk or anything like that, but I have 2 other roosters out right now. This guy right here, you've probably seen him, and then the other mean ones over there. I definitely can't have 5 roosters in here with like 20 to 24 hens. That's way too many. So we've got 3 in here. Eventually we'll take one out. We do need to process these extra roosters, so we'll process one of them and probably end up with 2 for this size of a flock. But they're all doing fine. They have their food, they can scratch, and their water, and they've been moved, so they're pretty much good for the day. There they are. And they do great in here. There's not a lot of fighting. I can see that I do need to freshen these up because they're pretty empty. I grabbed some eggs yesterday, so that's why there's not a ton in here. But let me freshen these up real quick. I love that I can just do this from the back. Yeah, you're trying to get out. I'm not gonna let you out. I love that I can just do this from the back so that when they're all locked up like this, I don't have to go in. They're fine. They would do fine with me going in, especially since we removed the rooster that was kind of feisty. But I don't love it. There's a lot of them, and they're much more jumpy than something like a Cornish cross. Cornish cross just kind of move out of the way. They eat their food. These guys, they have a little bit of an attitude because they were free ranging before. So yeah, I don't love to go in there. So I love that the holes on the buckets are big enough that I can easily get in pine shavings. I think this one right here is my smallest one. And so just get that topped off. Sometimes they'll knock the lid off of one of the buckets off, which then just pushes all the pine shavings out. So I would have to go in to fix that. But for the most part, I don't really need to do much with going in. I'm just going to leave this here so that it's good for the next time I need it. Then I've got this tiny little bowl I leave by the back of the chicken tractor for when I want to give them scraps. Here's the other rooster. Yeah, they act like they want to be in there, but they don't. They don't actually want to be in there. They just want the food. So like I was saying, I have that little bowl that I use for their scraps. Normally, I just throw their scraps right on the ground if they're free ranging. We have a spot where we throw them, but with them being in here, sometimes they don't eat everything. And I just don't really want it all over the field where our cows are eating and all of that. It's fine when it's in the spot I have dedicated for it, but I just don't want random scraps all over the field. So I'm feeding them in that little bowl and then bringing out whatever they don't eat and just throwing that in the trash or on the compost pile. But yeah, and now I can open this fence back up. The cows can come back here if they want. Now that we're done walking around with the feed, that was really the big concern. But the grass is really nice back here, so hopefully they'll come up here a little later and come eat. I opened it for you. Sylvie. So this is Sylvie, the mama, and her steer calf Megatron. Guys, he's about as big as she is now, but we've got that open so they can go eat if they want to. That's about it as far as the chores go. We don't have any meat rabbits anymore, and we've got about 2 months until we've got our meat chickens. So everything's pretty slim around here right now. We've got the 2 cows and then the chickens. So chores don't take long, which is really nice. We already did the milking for today. So I'm going to go inside. I've got to wash the milk machine, hang out with these kiddos that are running towards me. But I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.